Hey CSS learner, welcome back to day 2 of our CSS series on credit. I am Gurna Sharma and today we are diving into the core of CSS syntax and selectors. Understanding how to write CSS and select element is fundamental to styling our web pages. So let's jump right in. First, we will recap from day 1. Before we start, a quick recap. Yesterday, we set up our coding environment and created our first HTML file. Here you can see this. We also added some basic style to its CSS. If you missed that, make sure you catch up. Now let's get into a sense of CSS. So, syntax of CSS. CSS syntax might seem a bit daunting at first, but it's not as complicated as it looks. At its core, CSS consists of rule sets that define how HTML elements should be styled. Each rule has two main parts, a selector and a declaration block. So, this is a selector, and in this braces we have a declaration block. So, here we will give the property and here we will give the value with a semicolon. So, let's demo this basic CSS syntax. Open your styles CSS from the yesterday. Let's add a few more styles. We will change the font size of our heading and paragraph. So in the previous video we have this. So here we can change our font size. So in the previous video we give the font size 18. So today we will give the font size 250 to 60 pixel, and for heading we will give the font size like 400 pixel. So this is very large, so just go live the HTML file. You can surprise with the text. This is very big, so just hello CSS, and this is my first child web page. I hope you understand this. So save the file and refresh your browser. Notice how the font size of heading is increased, and that's the power of CSS syntax. So let's move to CSS selectors. Now let's talk about CSS selectors. Selectors determine which HTML element your styling will be applied to. There are various types of selector, and mastering them gives you a precise control over your styling. So there are three types of selectors: common, element selector. First is element selector, class selector, and then is ID selector. So first is common selector. Target all the instance of the specific HTML element. Here we have a paragraph. So first we will make our index.html for styling. Just here we will write here CSS day2, and then here we will give 5 paragraph, alt shift and bottom down. So just we can write hello, how are you, and then we will give some styling here. So in the head we will give link CSS, sorry, we'll write link CSS, and then hover it and follow the link and create this file. And here we have a element selector. So P, we are selecting the paragraph, so we want to give a color red, background color aqua. So you can see here index.html. If I just go like this, you can see this. Here we have a 5 paragraph, hello world, how are you, and you can see this, the background color is aqua and color is red with helping of element selector. I hope you understand this. So let's move to next. So then we have a class selector. So if you want to select a specific like target element with a specific class attribute, so if I give here, you can write like class, and we can give a para, and the third paragraph if I want to give a class para. So here we have a one class, two elements. So if I just for the class we have this syntax. dot highlight, and here you can style for element and with the class highlights. So you have to just use dot and write the class name like para, and in this braces you can just give some properties and values. So I want to color it any like chocolate, and background color will be blue. So the first para and third para with the class name para. So you can see this first and third para is changing the properties. I hope you understand this. Now here we have a ID selector. Target a specific element with a unique ID. ID will be unique element. So I hope you understanding this. So if I want to change the fourth para, you have to just write ID, and you have to give a ID name. Like I am going to give a ID name identity. So if in the style is we want to, if you want to select the ID, you have to just use hashtag and identity, your ID name. And if you want to change the color of them, so I want to change the color like cornflower blue, and background will be any like chart use. So you can see this, the fourth is changing the color and background color. I hope you understand this. Let's conclude day 2 of our CSS series. Today we have covered the basics of CSS syntax and explored different selectors. Tomorrow we will dive deeper into more advanced selectors and tackle the box model. Don't forget to subscribe to Credit for your daily dose of CSS knowledge. Any questions or topic you want us to cover, drop a comment below. Happy coding, and I will see you in the next video.